Our journey began with a very long flight from Los Angeles to Hong Kong, where we had a 2-day layover to explore the city. We did all the usual touristy things, like taking the tram up to Victoria Peak, wandering through crowded markets in Kowloon, and exploring the harbor. Charlie enjoyed seeing the iconic statue of Bruce Lee. We also got to experience the famous Symphony of Lights laser show down at the harbor, which was pretty impressive. These pictures do not do it justice. Next, we hopped a short flight to beautiful Bali, a land of towering volcanoes, terraced rice paddies, and ancient temples. It's also a land of constant festivals, with each village having its own important celebrations. Getting around in Bali is quite an adventure. Traffic laws seem to be little more than a suggestion, and the roads are packed. Scooters are everywhere. We would often see entire families on scooters. The most we saw on one scooter was a family of 7. Unfortunately, it went by way too fast for us to take a picture. We did not drive ourselves. Tourists generally hire drivers in Bali. Definitely one of the highlights of Bali is the cuisine. It reflects local traditions as well as other Indonesian regional cuisine and has Chinese and Indian influences. We enjoyed every meal. We rented a villa in the seaside village of Pemudaran on the north coast of the island, where few tourists venture. What a spectacular place! It was so restful there, we spent most of our time just lazing around the pool, watching the birds put on a show for us. Well, here, I'll let Charlie tell you all about that.
I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is the pool at our villa in Pemudaran, and this happens every night. The birds, these little swallow-type birds, come flying around the pool, diving down, drinking water, or bathing, or whatever. Not sure what they're doing. It's kind of cool. They look like bats, but they're just birds. And they're all over the place. Probably can't see it though. If you look at the little splashes in the water, you'll see where they land, and like that one. Grounds, all very open. Loft area. You probably hear the gecko up there. It's fun to have around. It's my favorite hangout over there.
Charlie, where's the bird?
Tulamben is a small fishing village on the east coast. It is a popular dive site due to the wreck of the Liberty, a U.S. Army transport ship that was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine in 1942, which lies just offshore. That's what we were here for. Local women carry heavy scuba tanks on their heads, sometimes 3 at a time. It was here that Charlie completed his 100th dive. That's a huge milestone for a diver. At various dive sites across Bali, we saw a variety of amazing creatures, including majestic manta rays. We were also super lucky to be able to spot and photograph an enormous mola mola. I have a real affinity for clownfish, who live among the giant anemones. They have a unique layer of mucus that protects them from the anemone stingers, so they are safe within those tentacles, and protected from predators. We saw many different types of nudibranchs, which are colorful sea slugs. Tulamben was rich with eels, who loved to hide in the hollows of the Liberty shipwreck. One of the most captivating experiences of our trip was seeing the dramatic Kachak dance. Starting at dusk, 50 to 60 men sit in concentric circles around burning torches. They begin a mysterious chant that is supposed to sound like an army of monkeys crying, "Kak! Kak! Kak!" in rhythmic waves. The effect is enchanting and a little creepy. This is followed by elaborately dressed characters playing out traditional stories in dance. At the end, the king of the Monkey Kingdom and other characters run barefooted through burning coals. Finally, they fade away into the smoky gloom. Yet another amazing experience involved visiting the home of a tribal leader named Soot. I actually met Soot many years ago on a trip to Bali with my mother. He was a tour guide, and we hired him to do a few private tours. My mother and Soot became good friends, and they kept in touch through email. After contacting him to tell him I'd be there again, he invited us to his home, where he served us an amazing lunch and had his sons entertain us by playing traditional music. Our final destination was the ancient city of Ubud in the island's interior, where we were to hold our vow renewal ceremony. Definitely a beautiful place for a wedding. We hired a team of local wedding planners to give us a real Balinese wedding. Step 1 was dressing us up in the traditional wedding attire, which was quite an elaborate exercise. You gotta love a man with a sword. Balinese weddings are officiated by a Hindu holy man who is attended by various women of importance and young men from the village. We also had Sandy and Bill as our witnesses.
Does Charlie know he has to walk through that?
Yes.
I told that last night.
Smells good.
There are many complicated customs, none of which we understood, involving various items like palm leaves, burning incense, baskets, bowls of food, rice, and Lord knows what else. The ladies did a lot of things 3 times. The number 3 is somehow important. Then the holy man chants and rings bells for, like, a really long time. Well, that finally got done. We even had our own band playing traditional gamelons, kendhang drums, and bamboo flutes. And now for the ceremony itself. They did their best to guide us through the various rituals, although we had no idea what we were doing. This nice young man had to keep explaining things to us. I'm sure they are used to having brides and grooms who actually know what to expect. Okay.
Okay, you can follow me. Go follow me.
Đó là đó đi.
You just sit down. Just
Sit down 3 times.
ready. No, you can sit down.
All the way down. Good thing I'm fit. You have to be young to get married.
No kidding.
Strong legs.
And then more.
Okay, one more time around. Yes, we had to sit down 3 times, and trust me, it was not easy in those tight outfits. Next, we had to do this procession, circling around the altar 3 times. I still have no idea what all of that symbolized, but hey, we went along. Oh, I walk in and walk out. Walk in.
Okay.
And then walk out. And I go back in. 3 times. This was coconut milk straight from a coconut, which I guess is similar to American bridal couples drinking that glass of champagne. This worked out well because Charlie hates champagne. Sit down here. Facing there. Okay.
And you?
Okay.
Oh, you sit down like this and I sit down like this.
Okay.
This was not easy for Charlie in that tight sarong. Okay. I had to remind Charlie that this was not a kilt. He did have something on underneath there. At this point, we had various rituals performed on us, involving prayer, smoke, flowers, coins, and rice. I got rice on my forehead, and Charlie got rice behind his ears. And then we got laid. You know, flower lays. I'm not going to cry. Since we stood under that flower-adorned arch in Laguna Beach with a chorus of sea lions serenading us and made vows in front of our family and friends that we would stay together forever. So now we come to this new milestone after having overcome a lot of obstacles, traumas, and irritants that might have caused other couples to throw in the towel, but somehow we persevered. It might have seemed a silly idea to do a recommitment ceremony, but I actually think it's very serious. First, we hopefully have a long way to go. I promise to always put the toilet paper on the roller. I've been doing better. I promise to always pump the head at least 20 times. And I promise to love the whole you, including those things about you that irritate the hell out of me. And I look forward to the next 30 years. And then we can get back here and do this again, right?
Okay. Mine's a lot shorter.
I bet.
So 30 years ago, I pledged my love and commitment to you, yet it seems like only yesterday. I promise to love you, honor you, comfort, and keep you. I pledge to be by your side in sickness and in health, in times of want and in times of plenty, for better or worse, for the rest of our lives. We have had all those things, and together we created a family and have enjoyed a very good life. Today, on our 30th anniversary, I renew my vows to you, pledging all my eternal love, and looking forward to what life may bring us.
That was beautiful. I think we should kiss. And then the band kicked up again, and we were in for a real treat. Beautiful young women appeared and began dancing for us. Hey, it was hot. And then we were married again. What better way to celebrate than with a cooling dip in the pool? We have many people to thank for our amazing day. Our Hindu holy man, whose name we were never able to pronounce, and all of his helpers, Charlie for being such a good sport, and Bill and Sandy for coming along with us on this epic journey.